Hi, I'm Stephen Ham from Archery Supplies. Today we're going to look at the Bowtech REVOLT X. This is new for me, and Bowtech's new for me. It's new in my store. These only came in on Friday. So I wanted to review it, see what it's like, see what the draw cycle's like, see what sort of speed we get through the chronograph, and see how well I shoot with it. Okay, so the first thing, so this is my first shipment from Bowtech, so let's just talk a little bit about that. So I placed a big order from Bowtech to get the distributorship back. And they basically shipped me what they had in stock, which wasn't a lot of bows, but it was some which would enable me to do reviews and see the bows and sort of see how they sell, and then place larger orders from that. So this is like one of their flagship bows. This is meant to be like sort of top of the line sort of hunting bow for Bowtech. IBO is 340 feet per second. I've got a little card here which is nice. So 340 feet per second, draw length 26 to 31, axle 33, 6.5 inch brace height. You can see who built it, who tested it, which is interesting. The same person who built it tested it, and the weight is 62. So that's nice. It's a nice card. It's kind of out the way. The build quality on this bow looks really nice. These limbs look nice, and these limbs are a little bit different. We're going to talk about that in a sec. The machining looks as good as any other bow I've ever seen, if not better. It just looks like a really nice bow. So what's unique about this bow compared to other bows? It's got an adjustable grip, so you can take the grip off somehow and fit different grips at different angles. Now they're purchased separately, they don't come with the bow like the Hoyts. The cams are different. So with these cams you can move them left to right using these little locking screws thing here. So you can move the cams left to right, that's for tuning. So if you're getting a left tear, so you basically your arrow's kicking out to the left, you move your cams to the left. And you've got a little lock system on the end here to lock it, and then a little thing there to move the cams backwards and forwards. It's very unique. I haven't seen this in the archery industry before. Now most bows, they put the axles through the limbs. On the Bowtech, it's like a metal piece at the end here, which is then screwed to the limb. That's very unique as well. So Bowtech's always been, I'm going to call it cutting edge technology. They're always trying new things and always innovating. Now with the Bowtech, they've got a cable stop both ends, so these cams are identical. Top and bottom cams are the same. They're like a binary cam. You can see how the string wraps around here, goes around there, and on the one on the other side. So there's three strings, one here, one on that side, and then one down the center. It's meant to keep it balanced. The cable guard is a flexible cable guard, so it flexes in. It's like a piece of fiberglass with two rollers on it. The cables are served in the middle. You've got two sight hole screws, so one with this one screwed and then one higher. You got two Allen key holes there in the riser to bolt the arrow rest on. It's a bit weird here because it's not flat, it's kind of cut in. That's a bit weird. Now it comes in a whole bunch of colors. This is obviously black, looks nice. Now the modules are a bit different. So it's a rotating module which looks very much like a PSE, but this is very different. So you've got three screws holding it, 1, 2, 3. You do not need a bow press. You undo them and you move them to what draw length you like. Now on Bowtech, this is really easy to know the draw length. And I'm going to say this is great because it's actually labeled on the cam. Now you're going to say, why don't other bow manufacturers do this? And the reason is they use the same cams on lots of different bows, and for given bows it's going to be a different draw length. So most bow manufacturers will use letters, so A, B, C, D, because you might have a bow which is 6 inch brace height and then another which is 7 inches. You can use the same cams. With Bowtech, they're going to have to use different cams for each bow to get these to align. Now what's also different, these modules, you can flip them to change it from a comfort setting to a speed setting. That's unique. The other thing which is unique, so they screw in with these screws There's a little washer in there that's unique. I haven't seen washers before. Most of them just screw straight in. These little brass things here, that's to add weight to the cam. It's meant to increase the speed. The limbs here, so lots of bows have pivots. Bowtech kind of moved their pivots out a bit to try and make the limb work more evenly. The limb pockets are nice. You can see here where it sort of goes in. I think it looks as nice as any. And what I like about this, you can see here, this is the bolt where it goes into. You can see how much thread's left. Oh, that, like, to me, that is awesome, because when I'm adjusting bows, I always literally get asked all the time, how many turns can you do on this bow? And like, the bow's 5 years old, and it's like, I've got no idea. So you do like 2 turns, 3 turns, and you're like, is this thing going to pop? Does it have 10 turns? Does it have 3 turns? And it, like, if the bow's older, a lot of even the new bows don't say how many turns they've got, so you're always kind of worried the bow's going to pop, or it's going to pop in the bow press, that might be wound out too far. With this, you can see really easy, so I really like that. I think the overall quality of this bow is nice. I can't see anything here which I could say is a negative. In the past, Bowtech had the edge of the limbs being sharp, which would cause splitting. That being now rounded, it all looks good. So the price point on this bow, around 1,800 Australian dollars. That's putting it at the top end of the price range for bows, but I think this looks nice. So, you know, let's put this in comparison with the top of the range PSE, the NXT 33. That's about a $1,400 bow. The John Dudley PSE is about $1,600. This is around an $1,800 bow. So it's kind of right there. It's up there with the Hoyts and the Matthews in price. Now the Roi Test we're going to shoot through a chronograph is a Velocity 400. It's about 29 inches, 90 grain point with a pin system. It weighs 327. The bow's set at 60 pounds, 29 inches. Generally, I would get with a 340 feet per second bow about 310 through a chronograph. I'm suspecting I'm not going to get that without even drawing it, because this bow's got comfort setting and a speed setting, so I'm guessing the 340 feet per second is with the speed setting, and this is on the comfort setting. So let's just try out the draw cycle. Now I'm going to say this bow came in the shop on Friday, and I'm with a customer, and one of my staff went and had a shot with it, and I heard from over because the shooting range is on the other side of the shop, I heard, holy crap. I'm like, he's like, this is so good. I'm like, okay. So I know I haven't actually tried it, so this is the first time I've drawn it. So the grip feels nice. It's kind of hollowed out here, which you'll be able to feel there in the palm a little bit, which is a bit different to other bows. Bow weighs 4.5 pounds, and it kind of looks like a heavy bow. And for me, 4.5 pounds would tend to be kind of a medium weight bow. And for the amount of massive metal you see here, you'd think it was heavier, but it's been machined out in lots of spots. So it's, and machined out here. So it's got a lot of metal, and it's not light, but it's not overly heavy either. So the first bit of the draw, just there you'll see it's like got a little bit of give, but then it's pretty solid after that. So a lot of the bows with the preloaded limbs will have it's more direct straight off in the draw cycle. So I think it's about to drop into the valley. Oh, there's the valley there. I'm going to let that down. Valley, easy to get into, an easy draw cycle. Now I'm going to put this in comparison to other bows. I've got a prime I did a review on 2 days ago, and I couldn't draw it at 60. And people go, oh, you didn't do you didn't check the poundage. Well, I did after that. I saw the people's comments, and the bow was 57 pounds. And I couldn't budge it. I did shoot it at 57, but it was a hard draw. All these other archers came in, they tried, and about 3 or 4 of them couldn't budge the bow, right? Anyway, they went and then shot one of these, the Revolts, at 70 pounds, and they could draw it. And some people go, well, 70 should be 70 and 50 should be 50. There's a difference. It's to do with the draw cycle. And what my staff said to me is, you'll be able to draw this bow at 70 pounds without problem. I would say this draw cycle kind of feels like that's peak there. It would feel like a 55, 53, 54 pound bow to draw. I'm not expecting big speeds. I'm going to guess a 290 feet per second, because it's a very easy draw cycle. The grip's comfortable. The cables don't come across to the sight at all. Oh, so there's no vibration at all. Probably a little bit more noise than some of the bows, but no vibration. Oh, 287. I'm like, what speed is it? 287. So I think that's probably fair. It's a very easy draw cycle. You've got a pretty big valley there, an easy let off. So peak, valley, then sort of locks. At the back here, it's solid. You see the bow just doesn't move in your hand. It's beautiful. Actually, one of my friends on Facebook messaged me and said, oh, you got Bowtech. He goes, why don't you try the REVOLT X? You'll love it. And I was like, okay. He's got a few bows. He works in an archery shop, and he said I still prefer the PSE. And I think the thing is, with a lot of bows today, they are so good. You know, like the Matthews, the Hoyts, the PSEs, whichever brand you're going to pick, the top of the line bows are all very good. This bow is no exception. Now, these are my target arrows. These are VAPs. They've got they're a 350 spined arrow, 140 grain point. Actually, the last velocity shot 290. That was 266. So the draw cycle is good. No issues. Don't feel anything in the shoulder at all. These cables, when you draw it back, they come about there, which is good. It's not coming to the sight picture. The grip feels good. The accessories are good with Bowtech. So overall, I really like it. Love the draw cycle. So I think now what we'll do is we'll shoot some groups at 18 meters and sort of see how it groups. But I think it will group well. It feels really nice to shoot, and the tuning systems, that's like pretty good if you worry about that stuff, but it makes it easier for the shop. And I do like these limb pockets, and they have a lock system on the side here, so some limb pivots will actually move out as you shoot. With the Bowtech you can lock it in place. That's good, right? So lots of good design here. Love the flipping of the modules. Strings look good. All up. Really like the bow. Okay, so we're at 18 meters. We're going to shoot the REVOLT X. So fitted the sight. Now the sight came straight off the review I did on the Elite Cure. So one thing I noticed was with the Cure, it must have more of a cutout riser, because with this sight I had to move it in compared to the Cure. So that was a bit interesting. So with the Cure, alright, so the center shot was exactly the same. So the arrow rest I did not move from the Cure to the Bowtech. So here we see it here, the Cure is obviously more cut out here. That was interesting. But this bow, I suppose I shot about 5 arrows with it at 18, maybe 6 arrows at 18. I felt good. Let's see how they group. Now I would say some bows feel long and some feel short in the draw length. So I'm about 28.5 normally in draw length. This bow's 29, which is what I do all my reviews on. This feels a little bit longer than let's say the Elite Cure, which to me felt shorter. This feels longer, so it may even feel like 29.5. So the pin aims really well on the target, like really well. I'm getting no movement left to right, no up and down movement. It's just aiming, it's aiming really well. Now, I have been shooting this morning, so and I thought I was shooting pretty good this morning, so I'm trying to get a few arrows in. This bow is really nice to shoot. I'm not a fan of that little rubber thing. I kind of want to rip it off, but it's a bit annoying, just a little bit. I feel that's pinching the arrow, so Bowtech, when they send the bow out, they put the little brass knocking point and then a rubber thing under it. I think they've always done that. From what I can remember, it's been years since I used to sell Bowtech. The cable stop looks nice piece of carbon, nice concrete on the side holding it. The stop here is nice. There's timing marks here on the cams. See the two dots, so you can see if the cam is timed. Good idea. It's pretty common in the industry. I am keen to try the other Bowtechs out, see what they sort of feel like. You know, the top of the line. The REVOLT X looks very much like their top of the line target bow called the Reckoning. In the overall design, the way the cams are built, except the Reckoning is about $2,500. I feel that one went wild. I don't know why. Just when I shot it, it kind of did that. Maybe because I was, at the time when I was taking that shot, I was thinking, why is the Reckoning sell for $2,500? This one's $1,800, when really it's only the riser which is different. That being, the Reckoning has a longer riser. Look, I can't really see my arrows down there, but they don't look great, and I feel like I'm shooting them well. Like the pins settled. I mean, they might be great down there. I just can't see them. The pins settled, there's no vibration in the shot. 6.5 inch brace height. You'll find bows which are 7 inches I definitely shoot better with a longer brace height. little fly fell on my hand when I was at full draw, and I was like, at full draw, I'm like, I wonder if something fell off. That was all good. Just last one. Let's see how that group looks. So overall, my summary of how this bow feels, it's a really nice bow. Alright, let's go and have a look. Okay, so clearly not my best group I've ever shot, but there's a whole bunch there in the middle which are all grouped together. So you can see I've got a couple, a high one and a low one. The high one, like, you know, the veins coming off, but I just shot these for indoor and I was shooting straight 10s. Most of the time they were 10s. You can see the one down below's, the one below's got 2 veins. I was shooting that for indoor, I was shooting 10s with it. I don't tend to worry about much stuff. So I'm going to suggest that probably the difference between the highs and lows, unless it could have been bad shots, I didn't like this rubbing up against the knock. It wasn't, I was getting a bit of movement in there. I think that allowed for a bit of the variation. So all up, how do I find this and how would I rank this bow? The build is probably the best build quality, like this sort of stuff here, of any bow I've seen. You know, like it's good. The innovation in Bowtech is great. The cam adjustments, these things here, is great. It's got little dampeners here. You can add, like, you can obviously bolt your rear stabilizer onto these little 3 points here. Like, it's all pretty clever stuff. I don't know why they put these on this side and not on that side. Oh yeah, I do, because probably they're allowing for people to have bow quivers, where I'm thinking, well, fitting a stabilizer, you fit it on this side and this is going to get in the way. So that's probably why they're doing that. Okay, so it's competitors on the market that I've recently tested. The Elite Cure. I think the Elite Cure is a beautiful bow. It's adjustable. Similar price point as this. I'm going to say that I think the build quality on the Bowtech, probably nothing wrong with the Elite as far as build quality. It had the stickers on the limbs, so I'm going to say this is better as far as build quality. I think this is the best of all the bows as far as build quality. It looks the go. It's got a great draw cycle. Now the competitors, the Cure, the NXT33, great draw cycles also. Like, I really struggled to pick the difference. They feel pretty much the same. Speeds, you'd have to look at the videos on the NXT33 I've done and the Cure, what speed I got, because I can't remember. I'm going to guess they're all going to be pretty similar. And it wouldn't surprise me, without looking at the videos from the past, if the PSE was quicker. And I'm going to say that, and I could be completely wrong, and I'm sure a lot of people will correct me. I'm going to guess the PSE's got lowest IBO spec of the 3 bows. But I'm going to guess it's actually a little bit quicker than the other 3 bows. That's because with this here, it's got a little bit of give on the way. The grip's good. The grips are fine on all the others. Yeah, overall it's a pretty good bow. And I think if you're in the market for a bow, it's well worth considering. If you're an archery shop and you stock Bowtech, it's pretty easy to work on. I mean, some of these cables might get in the way of these undoing these bolts, which might be a pain. Watch the cams if you put them in a bow press, so you don't crunch the cam against the things. Because I'm not allowed to mention anyone's name who did that in my shop. But it was his bow, it wasn't a shop's bow, so that was okay. I really love how this is displayed, this bolt here, so you can't do that. I love the limb locking system. I like these limb pockets. overall it's a pretty good bow. I'd be really interested to test a Bowtech, which is about £4. But this bow, the REVOLT X, would be good for 3D. A nice mix between like accuracy and hunting. So for someone who's a hunter or a 3D archer, it'd be a nice bow. So overall, I'll be really interested to see how these sell in the shop. Because in my shop I let people come in and try the bows. It will be very interesting for me to see how this sells, and with all the stuff that Bowtech has, you know, the quiver, the RRS, just to see how it goes. Now in the past, so when I sold Bowtech previously, I sold as many Bowtechs as I did PSEs. It was 50-50. The numbers were the same. I sold a whole bunch of them. I'm really going to be interested to see what the market's like now in Australia. With Bowtech, I haven't seen any Bowtechs in Australia for the past 8 years. I just haven't seen any. So, and there's other people selling them, I just haven't seen any. So, anyway, this is the REVOLT X. Interesting if you're interested in stuff. And I'm going to say some of the benefits to this over those other bows. So with the cure and with the cure, you can time the bow, so you can got tuning with the limbs, so you can twist the limbs to make it tune. With the Bowtech, you move the cams backwards and forwards. With the PSE, if you need to shim the cams, you need a bow press, and you just move little washers from one side to the other. And when I say move a washer, you move the thinnest of all the washers, so the one which is paper thin. That's all you ever need to do. So overall, I think it's a pretty good bow with lots of innovation. So check it out at your local archery shop now. Thanks for watching. Bye.